In today's video, I'm going to be sharing two different ways that can help you get ungated on Amazon FBA in 2021. This video is going to contain zero upsells, zero courses on how to do this. It is simply two free and simple ways that I've managed to get ungated on Amazon, and I'm going to be sharing them both with you guys today. So if that does interest you, then I would highly appreciate it if you hit a like on this video. It helps this video get out to more people, and subscribe to the channel. But having said all that, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so if you are gated or restricted on a product, this simply means you are not able to sell that product on Amazon, and you're going to have to request access to be able to sell it in the future. You can actually tell if you are gated or restricted on a product simply by scanning the product that you're looking to sell, and if it looks anything like this, where there is like a restricted logo over the product, then that means you are gated to sell that product, and you'll have to get ungated to sell those products on Amazon. But why does Amazon do this in the first place? Well, let me tell you one thing. Whilst I cannot find an official explanation on the Amazon official seller's website or any of the forums, one thing that I have done is reached out to a connection that is actually on the seller support team. And basically what they have said to me is that Amazon are highly promoting people signing up to the platform that want to start businesses. One thing that they really do not want is simply sellers looking in their bedrooms or their house, finding maybe some unwanted Christmas or birthday presents, jumping on the platform, selling those products, and then never selling again. And basically the way that they have tried to restrict that is by putting some products as gated and restricted, which simply stops new sellers jumping on, creating an account, and selling some of those products. And in all honesty, when I actually go through the two different ways that you can get ungated, this probably makes sense that this is their motive. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into my two free ways that you can get ungated on Amazon. Okay, so the first way is very much the most simple way, and the way that you can just get ungated naturally as a process of selling on Amazon. And this is simply by selling enough products on Amazon to the point where Amazon recognize you as an experienced seller, and then from there they will start to auto ungate you for the products that you want to sell. Once again, there is no official number or metric that you have to reach. This is something that just happens over time, and there is also rumors that things like feedback and IPI score may count towards this as well. One thing that I will say though is that I have been a seller on Amazon for more than 4 years now, and I would say around 90% of the products that I find myself gated in, that I stumble across when I do request that access, I'd say 90% of the time I automatically just get ungated in those products. And a massive factor for that happening is simply because the length of time I've been selling on the platform and the amount of units that I have sold. One thing that I highly recommend, no matter how long you have been selling on Amazon, is when you do come across a gated product, and once again I will show it up on the screen here, is to always request to be ungated in that product no matter what, because simply there is going to be a day on the platform where you will start getting auto ungated in products. But the thing is, you will never ever know unless you actually request that access. So yeah, that is basically the first way that you can get ungated. This is probably known as the longer winded way to get ungated, but this is the way that I actually went. I just focused on selling the products that I could sell at the start, and then over time I started to get auto ungated in different brands and categories. Now, if you wasn't that patient and you actually wanted to start selling gated products on Amazon a lot sooner, let's move on to the second way, and that is by simply supplying a wholesaler invoice. And there's a couple of things that you need to think about when you want to do this. So basically what Amazon will ask for from you if you wanted to get auto ungated a lot quicker is an invoice, like I just mentioned. And there's a few things that you need to make sure that you have on that invoice. So let's use an example that you are trying to get ungated in Funko Pop toys. This is normally a gated brand on Amazon for newer sellers. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find an authorized wholesaler for number one. I'm going to mention a couple that I've used in the past in a second, do not worry. The second thing that you're going to need to do is whatever product you are trying to get ungated in, or brand or category you're trying to get ungated in, you are going to need to order a minimum of 10 units from that wholesaler. And then finally, the last thing that you're going to want to make sure of is that on your invoice from your wholesaler, because you're going to have to submit this to Amazon. Once again, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a second. But what you're going to want to make sure is that your business name on your invoice and your Amazon account both match, and also your business address. As promised, I did say I would mention a couple of reputable wholesalers where I have personally used in the past, and many of my other Amazon selling connections have used as well. This would be number one, and these are pretty much renowned to be an ungating specialist wholesaler, and that is Harrison's Direct. You're able to order beauty and grocery products from that website. However, if you did want to get ungated in toys, I do have two options for you. The popular one that people seem to use is a website called NDA Toys, and then the one that I actually used in the past is one that is not as well known, and it's a website called Ocio Stock. This is a Spanish website, however, and when I did use this website to get ungated, this was very much in a pre-Brexit time, and I'm not too sure what the changes will be in terms of importing goods into the UK from a Spanish wholesaler, so that would be something that you will have to check out. But what I'm actually going to do right now is load up the invoice from Ocio Stock that they provided me, which was a successful attempt on me getting ungated on Funko Pops. Now, one thing I'm of course going to have to do is get rid of my personal address and my business name, simply because I don't want to be leaking that information. But as you can see here, we have the amount of units of the product on this invoice, the title of the product, and that is pretty much all Amazon is asking for. One thing they may also ask for is actual photographic proofs of the product. Now, personally, I haven't ever come across this when applying to be ungated using an invoice, but if you do, my best advice from people that I have spoken to that have been successful with this is to make sure that you take 4 clear pictures on every single side of the product, so it actually indicates that that product matches up with the invoice that you're supplying. Okay, so what I've done here is brought up a little bit of an example of a product that I am restricted in that I'm going to apply for. Basically, this has been actually quite hard because most of the products on Amazon I am allowed to sell, but I finally managed to find one, and it's kind of a smart charger or something like this. But what you can see here is the button to apply to sell that product. If I was able to sell it, it would just come up normally where I could select my condition here and actually go ahead and sell this product. But the ones where I need to apply to sell are the products that I am gated in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click apply to sell this product, and as you can see, it says you need approval to sell other NOCO branded products in new, used, refurbished, collectible conditions. So what I'm going to do there is click request approval. Now, if I was lucky enough to be automatically ungated like I was mentioning in step 1, what would have happened there is I would have got a message saying congratulations, you can now sell this product on Amazon. But in this case, I'm actually going to have to provide an invoice. So what you can see here is I need to submit a document, and what it's asking for is at least one purchase invoice for products from a manufacturer or distributor. The things that I need to have on this invoice, one thing that I didn't mention is that it needs to be dated within 180 days of you purchasing that product. In this case, it's going to be the 21st of January 2021 for me, because I'm recording this on the 20th of July 2021. Like I mentioned, it's going to need to include your name and address matching the information of your selling account. It's also going to need to include the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor. This should naturally come on the invoice anyway, and it should show the combined purchase of at least 10 units, as I mentioned, of that product. Now, there is an omit pricing information that is completely optional, so you do not need to worry about that. And then the last checklist that you need to check off is that you need to agree that Amazon may contact your wholesaler to verify that they are a authorized wholesaler or anything like that. This simply stops people from making up their own invoices from a friend that has like a limited company or something like that. That is something I definitely do not recommend doing at all. Make sure you're doing all of this from an authorized wholesaler. Now, the final thing that you need to do is obviously the main thing, and that is take your invoice that you have got from your supplier, hopefully in a PDF format if they've sent it to you via email, and simply drag and drop it into this box here. And then if you did have any additional comments, which I'm guessing probably most people don't, you can add them in there as well. From there, you can add your contact information if Amazon want to contact you for more information, and then simply you just click submit. Now, in terms of the time that it actually takes for you to receive applications back and Amazon to approve them, this is very much subject to what Amazon is up to at the minute. I've experienced it instantly, I've experienced it within an hour, and then there's been some products where I've waited up to a week. It is very much how Amazon is operating at the time, but that is exactly how you submit a purchase invoice to be able to get ungated on Amazon. But yeah, having said all that, that is pretty much this video for today. I hope this helped out if you were wondering how you could get ungated. Ungated? If it did, of course, I would really appreciate it if you left this video a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a comment with any questions that you did have around this topic, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.